Okay, well, everybody go on mute, and on the count of 3, 1, 2, and 3, hit play on your music. And then, it doesn't have to be in sync, so just start hit play now. And come join me on your mat. And we're just gonna start in easy pose, which is just with your legs crossed comfortably. And we're gonna start with our hands open, so we're receiving the energy. And we're just gonna take a few rounds of breath. Breathing through our nose and exhaling through our mouths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Sitting taller as you exhale. Inhale and exhale. Eyes closed. Inhale and exhale. And then bring your hands to your heart center. And on the count of 3, we're going to do a collective Om. 1, 2, 3. Om. And slowly lift your eyes to open and put your hands comfortably on your knees with your hands resting on your kneecaps. We're going to start by stretching our neck. So neck to your ear to your right shoulder. Just a gentle stretch, nothing forceful. And then your chin to your chest. And center your head. And then to your left shoulder, left ear to left shoulder. And then chin to chest. And center. And now to increase the stretch, take your right arm and place it on your right ear, and you'll give it an extra pull to your right shoulder. And then release the hand to the mat, chin to chest, and center. And then same thing, taking your left hand, placing it on your right ear, and you're going to pull your head to your left shoulder, just deepening that stretch. And for breath here, we're going to be practicing Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi breathing is breathing in through your nostrils and out through your nostrils. And then release your hand to the mat, chin to the chest. Looking straight forward, and then we're just going to put our hands back on our knees and simply roll your neck out to the right at your own pace, 2 times. And then reverse it to the left. And then when you've completed 2 circles, head back to center. And now we're going to stretch the right side of the body, or the left side of the body. So putting your right palm down onto the ground and stretching your left arm over to your right side. And just take a nice deep stretch. And if you want to deepen your stretch, you can also look up to your hand and get a nice stretch of the neck. Continue that breathing. And then up and back to center. And then same thing with your right arm. over to your left side, gazing up at the hand, only if it's comfortable. If not, you can keep your neck facing the wall in front of you. And then back up to center, hands on your knees. And we're just gonna circle the body to the right. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're gonna reverse the circles. Left, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Sitting up, center, and then you're gonna come and meet me on your hands and your knees, on all fours. In a nice tabletop position, toes pointed behind you, and your palms are pressing into the mat, and your neck is straight in front of you. We're gonna do a few rounds of cat and cow. Breathing in through the nose as you do a cow position, and exhaling as you come up into cat. Inhale through the nose, belly to the ground, and arching your back, pulling your pelvis in. Couple more rounds. One more round. And then meet me in tabletop position. We're gonna stretch the back of our calf, so just pushing your right foot behind you, straight behind you, giving it a little bounce and flexion back and forth on the ball of your foot. And then if you wanna stretch out the right side of your body and do a little bounce, just lift your right arm up and circle it back to meet in center, and pulling your leg back in. Same thing on the left, getting a nice stretch in the calf, bouncing and rocking back and forth. And then taking a gentle, simple balance, not lifting your foot, but just lifting your arm and opening. And then meeting back on all fours. And then now we're just gonna roll out our hips 4 times to your right side, rolling your whole body in your hips, really oozing into it. This is a nice, juicy movement. And meet in center, and same thing to the left. And then when you're ready, we're gonna meet in our first downward dog position. Down dog, you wanna press your heels into the earth. And if you need to, we're gonna take this first one, since our first one of the day, in a wider stance, so you can have your feet as wide as your mat. You can also bend your knees. This is just to get warmed up. You wanna push your chest towards the back of your legs, and really pushing those hands, the palms of your hands, into the mat, and really grounding yourself in this position. So just spend some time here in down dog. And then we're gonna step, jump, or hop to the front of our mat, keeping our feet in a wide position, same width as the mat. And we're gonna take garland pose. So that's bending your knees, and at this point, if you need to grab a block, you can always put a block underneath you. Hands in prayer position. And this is a nice hip opener. And if you can, push your chest to the sky, and take a few rounds of breath here. And then when you're ready, meet me in a plank position. And from plank, we're going to do a small chaturanga for our first vinyasa. And you can modify this by putting your knees down, doing a small push-up to the ground, and then a tiny cobra at the top of your mat, and then meeting me back in downward dog position. Okay. So next, we're going to take our leg up to the sky, right leg up to the sky, and knee to the nose. Stepping your right foot in between your hands on the mat, leg at 90 degrees, left leg back. We're going to spiral up into a warrior two position. And in warrior two, take 4 rounds of breath at your own pace. Inhaling and exhale. And really push through the fingertips, looking ahead and putting a lot of energy into this warrior two. And then we're going to reverse the warrior. Keeping your knee bent in front of you. Stretching back, you can take your left hand and wrap it around your back. If your neck is sensitive, you can look forward, but if you'd like to deepen the stretch, you can look up to your hand. And then when you're ready, you can come down to a triangle position. Both knees are straight. Your hand can either be in the inside of your knee, holding the top of your calf muscle, or on the inside of your foot, fingertips to the mat. Left arm up to the sky. And if you'd like that extra stretch with your neck, you can look up at your hand, or if it's more comfortable, look forward. And then when you're ready, meet me in a lunge. Nice deep runner's lunge. Stepping back to plank position. And we're going to do another vinyasa. So chaturanga to upward facing dog. And meet me back in down dog. Left side. Left leg reaches the sky. Bringing your knee to your nose. Stepping your left leg through to meet your hands. Slowly spiraling up to a warrior two. Head is looking over your hand. Extending energy through your arms all the way out through your fingertips. Take a few rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, reaching back and meeting me in a reverse warrior. And now pushing the left arm up, straightening the left knee in front of you, opening up your hips, meeting me in a triangle position. Looking up at the hand if you're comfortable. Or to the back wall if that's better. And then when you're ready, come to meet me in a runner's lunge, into a plank, chaturanga, cobra, and back in downward dog. We're going to do this same sequence, but we're just going to pick up the pace a little bit, picking your right leg up. Knee to the nose, stepping through, spiraling up to warrior two. Reverse your warrior. Meet in triangle position. runner's lunge, plank, chaturanga, cobra, and meeting back in down dog. Left leg reaches to the sky, taking your knee to your nose, left leg through, turning out the back foot at a 45-degree angle, spiraling up to warrior two. Reverse the warrior, spiraling down to a triangle position, meeting me in a runner's position, runner's lunge, stepping back to plank, chaturanga, cobra, and then back to downward dog. And here we're just going to take a break and take a nice child's pose. You're welcome to take your child's pose either way that's comfortable for you, having knees the same distance of the mat, or you can put your knees together and just have your forehead to the mat. And take a few rounds of breath here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And when you're ready, come to meet me back in downward dog. We're going to do a similar sequence twice through again, but we're going to add a little bit on this time. So just follow along. Lifting your right leg up, knee to the chest, stepping through to warrior two. Reversing your warrior, coming into triangle position. And from triangle position, meeting in runner's lunge. You're going to take a chest opener, opening your right arm and back, left arm and back. Stepping into plank, chaturanga. And this time, if you want, you can lift all the way up to upward facing dog. The full extension forward. And meeting back in downward dog. Left side, toe to the sky, knee to nose, stepping your left foot through and spiraling up to warrior two. Reversing your warrior and extending up and stretching into the triangle position. Coming into your runner's lunge. Left arm up and back, opening the chest. Right arm up and back, opening the chest. Coming into plank. And flowing through vinyasa, meeting me in an upward facing dog. And back and down dog. One last time, and you can do this on your own pacing. So I'll just walk through it, but you can do it on your own time. Starting with the right side, at your own pace. Don't forget to do your chest openers. Keep breathing. Stay in your breath. Once you've done it on your right side, Repeat it on your left. And then when you finish your final vinyasa, meet me in downward dog, and we'll do a few rounds of breath there. Inhaling and exhale. Inhale and exhale. You can pedal the feet if that feels good to you. And then when you're ready, step, hop, or jump into the top of your mat. We're going to do a forward fold, down to touch your toes, root to rise up, and hands to your heart center. We're just going to do a couple of side stretches. So again, root to rise, taking your right hand and grabbing your left wrist and stretching over to the side in a nice side stretch. Using your Ujjayi breath, breathing in through your nostrils and out through your nostrils and up to center. And then taking your right hand, grabbing with your left hand, grabbing your right wrist, and bending over to your left side. Getting a really nice stretch on the side. Feet planted into the earth. And coming up. And then we're going to just do crow pose. So we're going to take our right arm and crisscross it under our left. Standing up tall and pulling your arms down and into your chest. So really pulling your shoulders down, keeping your neck long. And then when you're ready, we're going to swing our arms open and swing the left arm under the right arm for a standing crow pose. And when you're ready, meet me in Tadasana. And we're going to step to the front of the mat, feet in a wide second position. What you'd like to do is just turn your toes in slightly. We're going to do a standing forward fold. And here you can either put your hands on your hips for more stability, or just keep your arms out to the side. We're going to start by bending down into a flat back. So really sticking your back out and then folding forward. Ultimately, the goal is to get your chest to your thighs. And here, if you need a block, I'm going to grab my blocks. This is a great position to start incorporating props. So what I like to do is start in this nice wide second position, bending forward, and I like to bring my forearms to my block. Get that nice forward fold bend. And just staying here for a few rounds of breath. And when you're ready, You can remove your block, grab your opposite elbows, and just sway side to side. And then very slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. And your head will be the last thing to come up. And then we're going to repeat it. One more forward fold. Flat back going down. Big stretch. And if you'd like on this one, you can grab the sides of your feet, placing the palms under the arches of your feet. And that will give you a deeper stretch as well. You can pull forward as if you're in preparation for an inversion. Again, doing whatever version of the pose is most comfortable for you. And then when you're ready, rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae. And then we're going to come to the back of our mat. Coming down to your knees, meeting in a plank position. Wherever you're most comfortable, we're going to hold plank either on your knees or in the full plank position for a count of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then slowly come down to your belly. And when you're on your belly, just take your toes and make them about the same width of your mat and have your toes pointed and just rock your hips from side to side. And you can have your right or your left cheek on your mat. And we're going to just work on Cobra, full Cobra. So just all together coming up to Cobra position. But we're going to be taking our arms wide so we can have a nice extra stretch and chest opener. So you're going to undulate the body up, chin to chest, coming up to a Cobra position, pushing your chest forward as you come down. And we do 3 more of these. Coming up and down. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Now you're going to take your right hand to meet your left hand and clasp your hands behind you, toes pointed. And we're just going to lift the chest up into a Cobra position. Chest up, neck is neutral, so you don't want it facing up or down, just straight ahead. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and coming down, resting your left cheek to the mat. And take a few rounds of breath. And just swing your hips side to side. And we're going to repeat that. Taking your right hand and your left hand behind you, clasping your hands together, lifting your chest up, and breathing, holding for 8 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and down. Right cheek to your mat, hands framing your face, and just sway your hips from side to side. Okay, and then when you're ready, come up to all fours, and then meet back in a downward dog. And then we're going to get into a seated position from here. So you can either jump into the seated position or just get yourself seated nicely. Easy pose, hands resting on your knees. We're going to start with a twisted position. So bringing your right heel to your left side of your butt and taking your left foot and crossing it over your right knee. I'm going to take your right arm up to your ear and then twisting to your left side. And here we're going to stay for a few rounds of breath. And then reaching your arms up to the sky, hands to heart center, down to your side. And then we're going to switch and do the opposite side. Bringing your right ankle to your left knee, your right hand planted behind you, reaching your left arm to the sky, and then twisting your body over to the left side. And then when you're ready, meet me in a tucked position, hugging onto your knees, sitting up nice and tall, and then collapse. And then sit up nice and tall again, and then collapse. Twice more on your own inhale. And then collapse. And one more time. And collapse. And then we're just going to take some gentle rocks on the spine, back and forth, up, and 2, and 3, and 4. Now placing your hands behind you, we're going to extend our feet forward. We're going to do a forward fold, so bringing both arms up to the sky, circling your wrists above your head. We're going to extend into a flat back position, attempting to reach our toes. So if you can grab your big toes with your index fingers, or you can just use the mat on your side and keeping your back nice and flat. And then once you feel like you're in a good, nice, flat back position, you want to slowly walk your fingers towards your feet, grabbing the backs of your feet if you can. And if you need to, bend your knees. And you want to get your forehead to knees in this position. And staying here for 4 rounds of breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And then walking yourself and your fingertips back up to a nice, tall, seated position. We're going to bring our left foot to the inner thigh, our right inner thigh. And we're going to do a forward fold bend. Arms above hands, twisting out your wrists. Same thing we did when our feet were together. This time just towards your right foot and your right knee. So start in that flat back position, working the flat back. Staying here in flat back for a few rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, increase to a forward fold, trying to touch your nose to knee. Again, you can always use your fingertips or blocks on the side to support you. Breathing in and out. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And then walking back up. Same thing with the left leg out, extended in front of you. Right leg in. Foot to thigh. Up above your head, reaching to the sky. Circling your wrists out. And then forward fold with a flat back over your left leg. Staying here in flat back for a few rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, fold forward, nose meeting the knee. Again, if you need to bend your knee to make that happen, that's great. If you need to use a prop, that's also great. And then when you're ready, walking back up to a seated position, bringing your left foot to meet the bottom of your right foot, just grabbing your toes and butterflying your legs, just flapping your knees and your thighs, sitting upright as possible, really feeling that extension in your lower back. And then we're going to come into a seated wide leg position. Here, same thing, if you have a block or a book that you want to use, this will help increase your stretch. So legs out wide on your mat. I'm going to keep my prop. A few rounds of breath. First, walking out to the flat back position. And just staying here for a few rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, you bring your forehead down to your block or to the floor, or just resting on your forearms. And we're going to stay here for 8 rounds of breath. So really enjoy this deep, deep stretch. Inhaling and exhaling, deepening your stretch as much as you can. And then when you're ready, slowly walk your hands back. And just take your left leg and bringing it in. Right leg, bringing it in. And we just want to roll our body out again to the right a few times. And to the left. And then when you're ready, put your feet to the front of your mat, legs 90 degrees up, and meet me on your back. And as we're here, we're just gonna relax into this position. I really want you to feel your lower back on the floor, the back of your head on the floor. So you don't want your chin to your chest here, and you don't want your head back. Shoulders on the floor. Everything should feel completely flat against your mat. No tilt in the pelvis here, neutral pelvis. And palms up to the sky, receiving the energy from the earth. Okay. And now we're gonna do 2 small rounds of back bend. So you're just gonna lift up into a half back bend. So just slowly lift your pelvis off the floor, keeping your arms and your palms into your mat and into the earth, grounding your right foot and your left foot into the earth. You should feel this in your hamstrings. And we're gonna stay here for a couple more rounds of breath. And then slowly bringing your lower back and pelvis down to the ground. Straightening your legs out in front of you. And just rocking your feet front and back. So kind of digging your heels into the mat as you just wiggle your legs out and rock your feet and your toes front and back. And then when you're ready, meet me back into that bridge position. Right knee meets the left knee. If you'd like to take a full bridge here, you can. Otherwise, we're gonna just do the same modified bridge, pushing up together, pushing through your pelvis up to the sky, keeping your neck neutral, palms to the earth. And then when you're ready, slowly roll down through the pelvis. Lower back hits the earth, relaxing the sacrum, rocking your hips a little from side to side. Extend your legs and your feet in front of you, and just rocking your feet front and back, and digging your heels into your mat. And then from here, if you have a belt or a strap, that would be great to grab right now. I know I put that in the email. If you don't have it, you can just grab onto your foot, or like I said, if you have a belt or a strap nearby. And we're gonna just do a reclined big toe pose. So here we're just gonna take our knee to our chest, and then we're gonna slowly bring our foot up to the sky at a 90-degree angle. And if you need to use your strap like I do for this, I just think this is a really helpful way to get the full stretch. So putting your strap or your belt over the ball of your foot, and you're just gonna hold this position, really pushing your right hip down into the earth, parallel with your left hip. And pulling on the strap to really get a good hamstring and calf stretch. Stay here for a few rounds of breath. And then if you'd like, you can do a nice hip opener and take your right foot out to your right side, and then slowly pull your foot towards your right shoulder. If you have a slight bend to your knee, that's perfectly fine. You don't want to hyperextend your leg in this position. And then when you're ready, bringing it right back up to the sky in a parallel position, bending your knee to unravel, and then preparing yourself for the left side. Left toes in the strap, left foot to the sky, Again, really focusing on planting that left hip into the earth. Pulling the strap in order to give you a deeper stretch. And then when you're ready, bringing your left foot out to the left side and pulling it gently towards your left shoulder, keeping your shoulders square on the ground. Stay here for a few rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, bringing your left foot back to center. Slowly bending your knee, unraveling yourself out of your belt or your strap. Hugging your knees to your chest, giving yourself a tight squeeze, and then just rocking back and forth. And squeeze yourself as tight as you can, and then release everything onto the ground. Breathing in and exhale through the mouth this time. And we'll do a few more breaths like that. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And one more big breath. Inhale. And exhale. Now we're going to do reclined pigeon pose. So bringing your left ankle and crossing it over your right knee. And then lifting your legs 90 degrees off the ground, calf parallel to the mat. With both hands, grab behind your right thigh. And you're going to gently pull your thigh towards your chest. Stay here for a couple more breaths. And give it a nice pull, keeping your hips planted on the ground, sacrum to the earth. And then we're gonna do a twist to the left side. So keeping your legs in this same position, twisting your right knee and left knee to the back wall, arms extended wide, and then your head and look over your left side of your shoulder. And stay here for a couple more breaths. And then when you're ready, unravel, meet me back in a tucked position, giving yourself a nice tight squeeze, sacrum to the earth. And we're gonna do the other side. So taking your right leg and crossing it over your left leg. Taking your hands and grabbing the back of your left thigh and pulling your left thigh towards you. Taking a few rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, we're gonna do our twist to the opposite side, to your left, taking your right knee and your left knee And crossing it to your left side, arms open wide, chest to the sky. And then taking your head and tilting it over your right arm, looking at your right hand. And close your eyes here and take a few rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, meet me back in center. Give yourself a nice hug. Knees to chest. And now we're going to get into legs up the wall. So you can either do waterfall position if you don't have a wall near you, or you can put your legs up against the wall. So I'm just going to do waterfall position here. But if you have a wall, feel free to get your feet up on it and put your butt to the wall. I guess now that I'm here, I'll join you. And while we're here, take your right hand and put it over your chest and your left hand at your belly. We'll enjoy a few rounds of breath here. Not at a wall. You can just waterfall your legs with a very gentle bend to your knee and relaxed ankles and feet. And then when you're ready, come onto your right side into a fetal position. Pick yourself back up. Come up to seat. And we're going to get ourselves into your final Shavasana position. And you have two options tonight. You can either be in your reclined goddess pose if you feel like you want to keep working on your hip opening and you enjoy that feeling, palms up to the sky. Or if you'd like to fully relax your body, just get into your final Shavasana position. Palms to the sky. Eyes closed. Feel your body heavy into the earth. And feel your breath. And then when you're ready, start to wiggle your toes and your fingers and get some circulation running back through your body. Come on slowly to your left side to a fetal position. And gently push yourself up to meet me in a seated position. And when you get to the seated position, put your hands back into this receiving pose that we started in. Since I have some of my moon sisters on the call, I thought I would reference the moon, our full moon that we had last night. And I thought I would read this passage, which is just so perfect for what's going on right now. When this full moon visits and we pause to feel that ancestral call to look up at the sky, I hope we see our lineage, the stars in space that conspired for us to exist, and listen to their call. I believe it comes in the voice of our revolutionary ancestor and teacher, Grace Lee Boggs, who once said, "You cannot change any society unless you take responsibility for it, unless you see yourself as belonging to it and responsible for changing it. Change is coming. Change always comes. We can't unbreak our hearts, but we can mend them." And these are some suggestions for the week moving forward into after this lunar eclipse. Surrender. Witness and or release the things you have no control over and seize the things you can control. Transform. Witness and allow change to move through your life and illuminate the places it is necessary to align with that which you know to be true on a heart-mending level. Imagine, create, and keep some room in your heart for the unimaginable. This is a sacred space. And that was Diego Basadio, and he's a writer and astrologer in the Bay Area. So this is from the Many Moons Lunar Calendar that was gifted to me by Nicole, and I love it. So thank you for joining me. If we can all come together, putting our hands to our heart center. And I'd love to do another collective Om. You can feel free to unmute your audio if you want to join me in this Om. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Om. Namaste. Thank you guys for taking my 3rd virtual yoga class as I learn and you teach me. Thank you for